Breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ. Mickey Callaway has been fired by the New York Mets. He was the manager for 2 seasons. They missed the playoffs in both of those seasons. This is now 7 managerial positions that are open in Major League Baseball. The Mets releasing the following statement. We want to thank Mickey for his consistent work ethic and dedication over the last 2 seasons, and I'm certain these characteristics will serve him well in his next opportunity. This coming from Mets Executive Vice President and General Manager Brodie Van Wagenen. He goes on to say a decision like this is never easy. However, we believe it is in the best interest of the franchise at this time. For much more on this, we bring in David Samson, former Marlins president. David, we spoke earlier in the day, and you had a feeling this was going to be coming in the next few hours. You were right. Where do the Mets go from here?
Well, the Mets need to find someone who can help protect Brodie Van Wagenen from himself and who can come into that dugout and get some immediate respect and gravitas, because that's not what they had with Mickey Callaway. And if you really read that statement, here's what it really means from BVW. Is that he met with the Wilpons after the season, and they pretty much said to him, there's going to be a change made, and you've got a choice. It can either be you and Mickey or just Mickey. Let us know what you think. So Brodie, of course, said, well, give me another try here. I won't do another Cano and Diaz trade, and now I'll get a manager of my own choosing, which really he won't because the Wilpons have to approve it. But this is really the last hope that BVW has to save his own job.
So where do you think they go? I mean, Joe Maddon's out there. Joe Girardi has said that he wants to get back into coaching. What should be their first call, in your opinion?
Joe Girardi has some experience dealing with family ownership. I was working with Jeffrey Loria, and that's Jeff and Fred Wilpon. And Jeff Wilpon is very involved, as he should be. It's his right to be. And Joe Girardi doesn't like that very much. He likes to do what he wants to do on the field. He wants the clubhouse to be his own. He doesn't want anyone in the clubhouse at all, including general managers. He certainly doesn't want to be told his lineups and batting orders and positioning. And I think the Mets are potentially a good fit in that way, in that they're not completely ruled by analytics. So really, this next managerial hire, Chris, is going to be about Fred Wilpon versus Jeff Wilpon. Because Fred is an old-school, non-analytic guy, and Jeff really wants to embrace analytics a little more. So we'll see exactly who is deciding the hire.
Well, we were sitting here on trade deadline day a couple of months ago, and you told us you thought the Mets were making a big mistake in not selling some of their assets and in trying to ride their hot wave and try to get into the postseason. That did not work out. So how are they set up now going into the offseason?
Well, they've certainly got some assets to trade, but they're just not able to trade them on the high. They brought in Stroman and they traded out Vargas. And they were hoping that in 2020 could be the rotation, Syndergaard along with DeGrom. And it's just, to me, they needed to trade Syndergaard. But now that they haven't, it's a little too late, but they still need to move on with him. He's been very public against the organization, deciding who he wants to throw to, choosing his own catcher. And he's just not able to have that say, in my opinion. And I don't think you're going to get ready major league players for Syndergaard necessarily. But they sort of need to start over because they just don't have the pieces. Certainly they have Alonso, the Rookie of the Year. McNeil is a very nice player, but I just don't feel with their bullpen and even with their starters past DeGrom, they have enough in the National League East. So it's up to the Wilpons whether they want to keep going for it and being in the middle or actually do a complete Dolphins-like tank/rebuild.
Very competitive NL East nowadays as well, with the Braves, Nationals, and the Phillies on the rise as well. David Samson, thank you so much for the time. Here are the breaking news on Mickey Callaway out as manager of the New York Mets after 2 seasons and 0 postseason appearances.